And at the end of the day, you can't be a one-man show all the time. You have to be able to have the people around you to support you at the good things that you're not good at necessarily, to be able to make sure that you're a well-rounded business. I actually own a financial bookkeeping company. So before the direct sales industry, I was straight out of college. I had a little bit of hospitality experience underneath my belt, but really no outside experience whatsoever in regards to the business world. So I started direct sales in 2008. Originally just wanted to get into some sort of sales and marketing experience. My original goal was to get my MBA. And through the applying process, obviously realized the main requirement was 5 years of outside experience in the real world. So obviously, I wanted to get some experience underneath my belt and decided to just kind of apply and see what was out there. It took me about 8 months to learn the skills to run my own business. Through obviously manage my own business, it was really exciting to be able to learn a little bit more about the recruiting. I realized that talent scouting when I was running a sales office was actually one of my favorite things. I love the ability to be able to find great talent and find the mentality of people that maybe didn't necessarily think that they were, fit for sales and marketing, but making them understand that it was really relationship building that was the key to that whole component. And so being able to create a different mentality when those people was kind of like what I thought was the best way to be able to move into the recruiting realm, is just introducing people to like-minded people rather than getting them excited about sales and marketing. So that was really the trait that I took into recruiting that I thought would be the key component of being able to grow the sales offices that I was working with. Yeah, I think the administrative team is extremely important. I think it's an aspect of business that a lot of owners sometimes not they neglect, but they don't think of the importance behind a strong support system. And at the end of the day, you can't be a one-man show all the time. You have to be able to have the people around you to support you at the good things that you're not good at necessarily, to be able to make sure that you're a well-rounded business. I have to realize that a lot of times I don't know what type of day this person is having over the phone, so I have to realize that at the very beginning, again, going back to the relationship building, I have to be able to develop a relationship and rapport, because I'm a person, I'm a stranger, they have no clue who I am on the other line. And so at the end of the day, I think I try to remind them of the importance of, hey, you're applying to this position, and try to put them on the back foot where I'm being able to be in control of the conversation, but then also like relating to them. At the end of the day, they may have read something out there that maybe is not necessarily that true, but again, in an internet-bound business right now or world, it tends to be the main thing that unfortunately, if there's a bad experience, they may take to the next position. So I've always been a firm believer that there's bad people, there's not bad business. And so at the end of the day, if they've had a bad experience, I have to be the person that overturns and makes them realize that it may be the person, that individual they actually came in contact with versus the business that's making them feel the way that they are feeling. So when I first moved to the recruiting, taking a lot of the managerial, aspects of what I did previously with the sales business that I ran, I was able to start working with a small team, building a business obviously from the ground up, and then began working with that team and just, development, professional development amongst recruiters that I did for about 10 years. And at the end of the 10 years, was looking for, a different avenue. I've always been intrigued by, starting things from the ground up. And so that's where I was really intrigued by financial bookkeeping and beginning to run my own business with that. For 16 years, I've had the opportunity to build a ton of relationships. I've been able to be at people's weddings and their birthdays and see their first children being born. Those relationships have lasted for years and years. And I've been able to move to different parts of the industry where I don't think I'd have the same opportunity if bridges were burned along the way, where maybe one aspect wasn't that great, but I enjoyed another aspect. I wouldn't have the opportunity to be able to pursue that if it wasn't for the relationships that I built along the way. And so for me, I've always had like the idea of like, I don't like to listen to the naysayers. I like to really be able to look at something and say, you know what, I know that maybe there's unfortunate, unhappy people that are out there, and they're not happy in their current, position or where they are in life. At the end of the day, I think the best advice that I ever got at the beginning of time was that don't ever listen to somebody that isn't in the position that you want to be in. Because at the end of the day, if they're not what you aspire to be, why would I ever listen to their guidance in regards to life? One of the most recent books that I've read that I really enjoy is By the Effing Lilies by Tara Schuster. I think the message is great in regards to just working hard and having goals for yourself. I think at the end of the day, sometimes we get so nervous to be able to continue to push on, but we forget to have many goals for ourselves. And so if you see the beautiful flowers inside the grocery store and you want them, buy them. Biggest business tip that I would give would be, I think, be frugal in the beginning. Obviously, building a business from the ground up is not always the most easy, but it will be definitely the most rewarding. But obviously, there's going to be peaks and valleys along the way. So I think if you can plan accordingly, it's going to help out at the end of the day. We do see those valleys. We're able to, move accordingly to create more of those peaks. Yeah, the person I'm most grateful for is definitely my husband. I think I found an individual that has a like mind to myself. Working hard is definitely our #1 motto, and super excited to watch him grow. And I think he's been my biggest cheerleader to watch me grow as well. I think the neat thing about our industry is that we have the ability to start from scratch. At the end of the day, you have a clean slate and your reputation and relationships begin from there. And so, if you had issues in regards to finances before and you want to be able to get better, I think the biggest thing is that, diligence is going to be key. But at the end of the day, I've watched tons of success stories in regards to people that were terribly financially sound before they joined our industry. People that got themselves in a credit card debt. I was very fortunate to help out a business owner recently. He accumulated $13,000 worth of credit card debt, and we created an 8-week plan and completely eliminated that. So the relief that he feels on a daily basis just in life is just tremendously different than it was 8 weeks ago. So I think that's absolutely huge in regards to being able to, just put yourself in a perspective of, hey, things can change overnight. It's just the diligence that you have to be able to create it. I think the worst financial decisions that I think new business owners make is spending things too quickly on things that aren't relevant long term. Meaning, instead of creating goals for themselves with short-term bonus or short-term, aspirations, they think too big, too quick. And so you have to have steps to get to that point at the end of the day. You have to be able to have small steps to make long strides. And so not putting themselves in a position where they may see something go down in the business a little bit where they need to recover and don't plan accordingly and do things too quickly for their business, I think puts them in a really bad spot. So if you can be diligent in the forefront, realize that there's going to be financial milestones that you want to gain first before creating some of the larger, big perspective things that you want to do, I think this would be absolutely key. As a young 22-year-old, there was no way I thought that I'd be able to ever run a business at some point. But I think what really put it into perspective for me, that put me in a good space to be able to move towards that, is that I love building relationships, I love talking to people, so I knew that was a key component to grow that I really liked. And so I think that was the huge thing for me, that I just knew that if I could foster that, the sales of things would just come, and they did. And I was pretty decent at it. And then it's been cool how many doors it's opened along the way.